Hey there, I'm Sagar Shridesh from Komet Study Abroad and welcome to this brand new episode where we are going to discuss today about IELTS reading. Is your IELTS reading score stuck at a point and is not showing a northward trend? Or is that you have just started your practice and wondering where to start? So this video is for you. Here you will learn why we usually struggle with IELTS reading, what are the common mistakes that students make during IELTS reading preparation, and how could you overcome such obstacles, and how could you score good numbers. Hey there, I am Sagar from Komet Study Abroad and welcome to today's videos on IELTS reading. When we talk about IELTS reading, the number one question that arises is that why one person fares good in IELTS reading test while other struggle so much. The answer to this is quite obvious. It is about the overall reading habit. Most of us nowadays are actually not doing the appropriate reading, which is also called as active reading. By reading, I don't mean reading Facebook posts or WhatsApp chat or other social medias. What I mean is about a serious reading, like reading newspaper, books, journals, like that. And it becomes more important when we talk about someone who is in the 12th class and who is aspiring to go university in an abroad at undergrad state. They are mostly indulged into their course books and they do not do other kind of reading a lot. In actual IELTS articles, they basically test your how well you can read and how well you can get the meaning out of it. And when we do not have a habit of doing this, it actually daunts us. So let us begin with the most common mistakes that students make while preparing for IELTS reading. And the number one mistake is that we start directly solving the Cambridge test material. As these materials are commonly available on the internet, this is the first thing that aspirants mostly begin with. They assume that practicing repeatedly will yield them the result, which is unfortunately not completely true. Practicing repeatedly may improve your score, but this should be the strategy for the later stage of the practice. Sometimes, in fact, overdoing of this in the initial stage frustrates the student, and to that extent that even I have seen in my experience that many just drops the idea of taking IELTS test. In fact, reading other English articles like those, newspaper, journals, all other things will actually improve to increase your test papers. So for an example, if you in the first test you got 25 out of 40 and then you give another 5 mock tests. So there is a very less chance that you could increase your score just by coming directly and practicing this Cambridge test paper. The numbers that you will score here will just tell you that this is your current reading skill. But unfortunately, if you think that doing this repeatedly is going to eventually improve your scores, so you are probably wasting your time. The second mistake is expecting a fast result. And this is relevant not only for reading but for all parts of the IELTS part. The reason behind this when we talk about the reading is that we are not into the habit of active reading for several years and suddenly we feel that in a month of a practice we could bring a phenomenal changes within ourselves. So remember, English is actually a language and language does takes a gradual process. I suggest that you should give at least 3 months of time for the preparation. So now when we understand that we are probably not a good reader, so the question comes that who are the good readers? To answer this, one must read the book authored by Norman Lewis. The name of the book is How to Develop a Fast Reading Habit. This is a wonderful book and it will be immensely helpful to you if you want to change your unproductive way of reading. It says that good readers read and understand the content very fast. Very fast means very fast. They just read the words in the group instead of a fragmented individual words. And contrary to the popular belief that reading aloud will develop reading ability, they rather do not read aloud. In fact, they skim fast. They read to understand the main idea of the paragraph and focus on the individual sentence only when it is required. So good readers just do not go into the unnecessary details of the text. Good readers also give proper respect to the punctuations and read with appropriate pauses and other denotations. This enables us to build a better connection between a writer and a reader. Lastly, a good reader reads a lot. They read complex materials daily. They read in the morning and in the evening. In fact, they enjoy reading. So please note that it's useless to practice something that we do not enjoy. And when you start to enjoy reading, it won't become a burden. Rather, you will look forward to reading as much as possible. Remember, the faster you read, the more you can read. So fast reading is very imperative to hone up your reading skill. So now when we understood the quality of a good reader, it's time to learn that how could we improve our reading skills. The answer to this is simple. The number one, you must give 70% of your time to read materials like newspaper, magazines, books and journals. The best is to read newspaper editorial daily. So suppose if you have planned 3 months for IELTS preparation, the first 2 months shall involve lots of non-IELTS reading material. You should read roughly 5 long articles daily. First you may start with the easy articles, that could be storybooks or something like this. Then later switch to complex articles like journals and the newspaper from the international source. Number 2, notice your word per minute. You must note down your speeds in word per minute in the first article, and then you must try to improvise on this score each day. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that in pursuit of fast reading, you should not lose comprehension. Thus, you need to balance between speed reading and comprehension ability. Once you achieve a consistent level of reading, say more than 350 words per minute with proper comprehension, you could start practicing Cambridge test paper. You will be able to solve the test paper with greater ease as compared to someone who starts straightforward with the test paper. These two methods will build a foundation for your reading ability, and now it's time to move to the next step where you could start practicing the test material. But here too we need a proper strategy, which is our tip number 3, that practice with the question types. Practicing on specific question types is important as many students majorly struggle with unique questions, like some struggles with true, false or not given, some struggles with list of heading. What I mean to say is that different students have different challenges. Thus one must focus on their weaknesses and accordingly practice more such questions. It will build confidence, save time and improve the approach to the question. And the final tip, you should develop a habit of making notes of your score. It will help you to track your progress and will tell you when you are ready for the exam. So suppose if you target 35 out of 40 in the IELTS test, then the average of your last 5 practice test scores must be near to or more than 35. To end this session, I would like to advise that before going for the IELTS test, you must practice a minimum of 100 complex articles with appropriate comprehension, and at least this practice will also improve your vocabulary, which is not only important for reading but also for writing and speaking. You will also become more aware of the uses of punctuations and would transpire this learning into your writing. Thus, this practice promises to build your skill for the overall IELTS exam. This is the end of the video. Hope you have learned something new here that would aid in improving your IELTS reading scores. If you need any help, please type it in the comment box. Thank you for watching this video. See you in next video. Please do not forget to subscribe and comment whatever you feel about this video. Thank you for watching it. Bye. Take care. See you.